Welcome to Mars, everybody, and welcome to my channel. My name is Sam, and we're starting here a brand new playthrough on the game Surviving Mars. One of my favorite base building and strategy games of the past few years. I realize it's not the newest or the trendiest game out there right now, but I'm sure there's still plenty of fans out there of this game, same as me. So I thought I'm gonna make a little bit of a playthrough, show you how I'm dealing and facing the challenges that Mars brings with it. I'm playing on the Green Planet DLC right now. I realized that there's a couple of DLCs that came already out after that, but I'm sticking to this one. Find it the most interesting version of it. So let's start and set up our new game. Here we are going to choose some settings to make it a little bit more challenging for us. So not to make it too easy, but we're also not going to go too crazy. As our mission sponsor, we're going to choose one of the more difficult ones, which is Paradox Interactive, which is also the developer of this game. We're going to go into the settings on what the implications of this is in a second. As our commander profile, we're going to choose the Futurist, which will also up the difficulty a little bit. We can leave the company logo. With the mystery, I'm going to leave it at random. I like to be surprised in that regard. We're going to have 3 rival colonies. And in terms of the additional game rules, I like to also leave this untouched. I know I'm not gonna make it more easier or more difficult than what it is, to keep it as vanilla as possible. In terms of what all this means is the difficulty here, as you can see, is hard. We're gonna have $4 billion as start fund. We're gonna have only 1 rocket at the beginning, which is quite a challenge. 75 starting applicants. We're gonna get only 100 research per soul from our sponsor. Rare metal price 24 million. The advantages are jumper shuttle, which is a faster shuttle that uses parabolic trajectories, which means basically that the shuttle is a little bit faster. In the late game, we can be able to build buildings that grant funding, an additional building. We gonna have more breakthrough anomalies. We're gonna every time we research a breakthrough, we're gonna get more applicants. However, there is a pretty significant drawback, which means that the 1 rocket we do have also needs a ton of fuel to launch back to Earth, which is going to be a big challenge in the beginning. You'll see. In addition, we have 30% faster research on breakthrough technologies, and we're going to have the autonomous sensors, which is going to be a help in the beginning when we can set up our sensor towers without requiring any power or maintenance. Okay, so let's go to the next screen, setting up our first payload. Let's go into the prefab buildings. We're going to take the drone up, we're going to take the fuel refinery and the moisture evaporator. We're not going to take the Stirling generator. We're going to have other means to generate our power in the beginning. All the rest also, this is also for later. So we're going to have freed up a little bit of space. In terms of the vehicles, we're not going to take our Explorer in the first rocket. Instead, we're going to take our transport, which will be much more crucial and critical for the early game. You'll see. In terms of drones, 6 drones is fine. All this we don't need. And in terms of the advanced materials, I'm gonna maybe take another few polymers for the beginning, which will be needed for things like batteries and actually and also our first dome, so we can get that up as soon as possible. That is pretty much it. Our cargo capacity is full. We cannot take anything more. I'm going to take, I know a lot of people also like not to take the orbital probe to save more space and money, but I think that can be helpful in the beginning. Alright, let's choose our colony site. There is some sites that the game gives you in the beginning that you can choose from. I rather choose them. I like to choose them manually. You can just drag, as you can see here, the mouse over the planet and basically choose any location that you want, and you can basically check here and adjust this according to your liking. Again, like I said at the beginning, we do want a little bit of a challenge also in terms of threats or natural disasters. So we're gonna put our site in the upper north where it is a little bit colder, so cold waves will also occur. As you can see, there's cold waves here, but if I go more to the equator of the planet, there's no cold waves there. So let's try to find a good middle ground. I mean, 4 is a little bit tough. It means that there's going to be cold waves all the time. Maybe we can find something with 3, something like this. Hold on. Let's try to... Okay, so meteors. There's not going to be a lot of meteors. Okay, how about this one? No, that is... Okay, how about this? I'm gonna have dust devils, dust storms, and cold waves. Not too many meteors, but that's fine. Metals is 2 out of 4. Concrete is going to be challenging to find, according to this, even though always also this is not really 100% reliable. And water should be at least plenty. So let's go with this. It's a flat area and should prove somewhat of a challenge. Difficulty, total difficulty is 450%, which I think is a healthy number. So let's get started. Alright, welcome to Mars, Commander. Basically summarizing what we have chosen, and the goal is to build a base and to secure, like they put it, a foothold on Mars, so we can bring up our first humans and colonize Mars. Okay, now the game is open. Let's pause it immediately. Let's see what's going on here. A lot of messages. Okay, this is just giving information about what was done. We have already found water, which is amazing. Okay, which helps us a lot in the beginning, and also in the same time already gave us a milestone. Exploration, okay. No active research, okay. And terraforming, okay. We know we know all about this, and if not, we can look into this a little bit later. So this is our starting site. So we have a little bit of metal. We have a little bit of metal lying around. We have a water source. We have a little bit of concrete. Low quality. It's not the quality. It's the basically the production rate. Okay, that this here determines, meaning how fast you can get it out of the ground. Our water source is also of low grade, so we will probably need more than one extractor to get going. Okay, I think the area itself is a good area to start. There is plenty of room to expand. Better than, let's say, in a place like this where there's not, where you have to, you know, build bridges or tunnels to get down. So let's start here. Actually, let's look around. What is here? We have here more water, concrete. Again, this hint that you can see here where it says high chance that the sector contains can be, you know, a reliable hint, but is definitely not always the case. So it doesn't mean that there's guaranteed concrete and metals here. Okay, it is just you know, just something to keep in mind. So let's use our 3 probes that we have. We're going to open here. Okay, there's more water there. Let's go down south. There is a research site here. We're going to talk about this in a second. And maybe I'm also going to open this one here. Okay, so we do have concrete and we have water. We have no metals, but the metals are not concerning me right now at the moment. I'm going to explain to you in a second why. Because well, you'll see once we bring out down our first rocket. So since the water is here, the concrete is here, I think this would be a great spot actually to bring down our rocket, to start mining up the concrete. And in terms of our first dome, probably, since I don't see any vista, which would be actually preferable for the first dome to get our firstborn child up, to get our firstborn child born as fast as possible. A vista is great, but I don't see any, so we're going to choose the research, I guess, instead. So we're going to probably go like in a southward position here. All right, so let's bring down the rocket. I think this place here is as good as any. So again, important to note is you can see the blue radius here. The blue field is how far the drones that you brought with you are going to reach. So if I place it here, for example, here, then this lower concrete will not be reachable, at least not for the beginning. So let's I don't know, let's put it down, you know, just here, and this should be fine. Okay, let's bring it down. Let's watch it. It's a great little cool animation that they're doing when the rocket lands. Again, in the future we're not going to do this and watch every rocket land like this, but you know, for the first time it's actually pretty cool. So here it is, door opening, and you know, our little transport is coming out, same as our little drones. Now, when it comes to the transport, as I said that just before, I'm not concerned about the metals, and here's why. I'm using a little mod that is giving me a pretty significant advantage, but also I would still consider it a quality of life mod, which is regarding the transport, because as you know, in the beginning, what you do is that you know, give them commands to gather, you know, all the materials that are lying on the floor, the metals, sometimes polymers, etc. I'm not going to do that because I cannot be bothered with it. So there is a mod which allows you just to basically click it, and it's automatically gathering all the metals and all the polymers that are lying around as soon as a field is being scanned. All right, so I'm going to use that again. Might be controversial. Maybe some of you will say, okay, that's unfair and giving an advantage. It is, but it's also just a quality of life, because I could easily gather the materials by just clicking and giving it commands, but this is easier. But of course, it also means that in the beginning, I won't have to worry about metals whatsoever, because it would just gather them up, and we're gonna have hundreds of metals in no time. So let's start. We'll start with the Universal Depot, so our little drones can start unloading the rocket. And again, as I said, I'm also going to put up a depot for our metals, so our little transport can start picking them up, and he will do this from now on automatically until I give him maybe a different command. So how do we start? Again, I realize on a normal speed, which is normally not the speed you play, it's all a little bit slow. We're going to go faster in a bit, don't worry. But for now, for the beginning, let's make a little plan. So the resources are being unloaded, the metals being gathered. The first thing we need, as I said in the beginning when we set up the profile, this futurist commander profile brings with it that the rocket needs an absolutely ridiculous amount of fuel, which is 80. There is later, and we haven't looked at the research yet, but there is one research field which you can research, and it will lower the required fuel, but it will still go down to 60, which is still a lot. Okay, a regular profile starts with 60 and goes down to 30, if I'm not mistaken. So we're gonna have a little bit of challenge, to get this guy fueled back up. So we have to start on that, so you know, we can start producing the fuel as soon as possible, because it's the only rocket we have. So in order to start to get some fuel, we need fuel. Requires of course the fuel refinery, and it also requires water. So we brought our little moist evaporator. We're going to put it, I would say, here. I want to keep it like away from this area here. Oh, now this has actually turned out to be a cold area, which we haven't seen before, which has a little bit significance on our power usage. So maybe this will not be our dome site. We'll see. So I'm going to put it here though, and I'm going to I'm going to put the fuel refinery right above it, right here, like so. And I'm going to and then we need to create some pipes between the two, like so, and also to create some cables between the two, like so. So now they are connected. However, we have still no power connected to it. We're going to rely in the beginning heavily on the on the solar panels, because as I said, metals which the solar panels require are plenty, while wind turbines, which have the advantage of running with the 24/7, not only during the day, require also machine parts, which is a very rare resource and much more valuable. So in the beginning, that's not advisable. We only have 15, and who knows. Did I choose? I didn't. Okay, I didn't even start the scan yet. So let's do this. So at least we get going on the scan. We're also going to do something to increase the scanning speed in a second. Anyway, so we need to hook this up with cables. Okay, and once our little drone started to build those, which they are currently not doing because we still have no metals. Again, I'm going to speed it up here, so our little transport guy is coming back with the metals, so we can actually start building the solar panels and get going here on the fuel production. The fuel is produced and being automatically shipped to the rocket, and as soon as we reach 80, we can send it back to Earth. Alright, so the fuel is gonna get going. Next thing would be to tap into the concrete 441 here. This is a little bit more concrete, but it's even a very low mining speed, so we are going to use this one. So let's build our concrete extractor from here. Alright, and also we need to connect it to the power, which is a little bit of an issue because I built the power down here. We could give him his own power source. Again, at the moment, since we're only using solar panels, everything will work only during the day, but this is not like a big deal at the moment. Let me think if I'm going to put a cable, or I'm going to put you know what, let's just put another solar panel here. I think he only needs 5 power or 5 or 10 power, we'll see. But one thing to mention here, and to worth mentioning here, is, as you can see, this gray line is basically showing the dust cloud that this extractor generates, which means that if I put a solar panel within this radius, it will get dusty all the time and will require maintenance all the time. So let's make sure we're going to put it a little bit outside so we won't have to deal with this. Alright, so let's put it here. Let's give him 2. Oh, okay, there's a message. New deep space telescope will be launched to scan cosmos from a point even further out than Mars. Teed it up. Our sponsor, Not One Waste, to open to have the most ambitious process. The splitting of the launch bill will basically pay for a single supply pod. Okay, so we can get one supply pod basically for free. Now we need to choose which one, what we would like on it. Okay, orbital probes, definitely not. I think I'm going to, since we already have one transport, which is more than enough for now, I'm going to go with the advanced materials. Okay, as you can see, we're getting this little shuttle here immediately, and it will give us those advanced materials. We can also destroy the pod itself, which will give us a few metals as well. Alright, we were here with the solar panels. Let's give him one more and let's hook it up, and so he can start working as well. What's going on here? We're missing metals, and we're also missing the machine parts. Why? What's the problem, guys? Why are you not building it? Okay, now they're building it. Alright, so this is our concrete that is also going. Let's already put a little concrete depot there as well, so the concrete can be delivered. Again, nighttime again, so everything shuts down. All right, so let's see where we are. Fuel is it's going okay. We already have 8. Nice.
Resources are low.
Yeah, I'm aware of the low power situation. Like I said, it is because it's nighttime and we're only working with solar panels. However, we have 15 polymers, we could afford at least 1 battery, which will mean that some of the stuff, or a power accumulator, which will mean that some of our stuff will at least work also during the day. You know what? Let's build actually 2 of them. Okay, so already it's a little bit expensive in terms of the polymers, but will help us out in the long run. All right, so we have the concrete going, we have the fuel going, we have our rocket being loaded. Next thing is actually also already to plan towards our first dome. Like I said, I originally wanted to put it here because of the research field, which basically gives it a research boost in the dome. However, since it's a cold area, it will require more power, which is, already challenging in the beginning, so I will not gonna opt for that. As of now, before anything, I forgot something. We need to build sensor towers. Sensor towers have 2 purposes, very important purposes. One is they increase the scan speed of those areas to be scanned. Okay, so the more sensor towers you have in the area, the faster they're going to be scanned. And also, they are giving you a warning about incoming natural disasters. And the more sensor towers you have standing, the more earlier warning you will get. Okay, and again, since our profile has autonomous sensors, it means that we don't need power to connect to them, and we also don't need to maintain them. However, we still need to build them with our original building cost, which includes 1 electronic, which in the beginning is a very valuable resource, but it's worth it. So
resources are low.
So let's spread them out a little bit, and put also 1 here in all directions, basically. We also need to make sure we're in the range of the drone, so can actually be built. All right, so we have 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, and also let's put 1 in the eastern direction, right here. Okay. All right. I forgot something very, very critical, and I already realize it now, since we're already playing for 4 souls, and I have not even started any research yet. Okay, so let's cover this. Actually, by default it selects at least 1 research field, so it's not completely doing nothing, but that was of course a big oversight of me. So let's look at the research, and let's see what is actually useful for us in the very beginning. And this is actually the most useful one, the one I was hoping for, which is advanced Martian engines, which once researched means that the rocket will require less fuel. Alright, we will also research drone swarm, which means that drones hub have 2 additional drones, and increase also the maximum number of drones. In terms of the social, it's not critical yet, even though the scientist is actually an important one, so we're going to also choose this. It will just basically mean that scientists will have plus 10 bonus in their field. In terms of extra amplifications, I'm going to research it too, even though in the beginning we won't use this. With the terraforming, we're not dealing yet so much, and afterwards we can continue the biotech. Actually, farm is also very, very critical, so I'm happy that this is all the way at the top. Alright, so this is the plan. Of course, going to take a while. We need to get our research per soul up as soon as possible. Alright, so we have the research covered. So now, in terms of our first dome, like I said, originally we wanted it here, but plans have changed, and I'm going to actually build it here next to our rare metals deposit, which is also very, very critical at the beginning to get in more funding. However, a basic dome a basic dome costs 10 polymers to build. Right now we have 11. I'm going to still build it. I know there's also a way to start with a cheaper dome, a micro dome, which actually doesn't cost any polymers, but I'm going to start immediately with a basic dome so I can actually have enough place to fill it with stuff that I need and actually make it productive. There is a different strategy to get a dome up as soon as possible, to, you know, for example, to win the milestones, you know, to get the dome up and to get the first humans up as soon as possible. I'm not gonna opt for this. I rather build it properly, and even if I miss out on the first few or 1 or 2 milestones at the beginning. So basic dome. Just so we have an idea how it will look, we're going to put it, like, again, in the range of the rare metals, which I'm absolutely planning to extract, in contrast to regular metals, which, as you can see, I'm not even looking for, I'm not even concerned about, because as you can see, we already have 94 and this number will only go up more and more. So let's just build it here. In addition, I'm going to build also the one drone hub that we did bring with us. Is it worth waiting for the drone swarm research? I don't think so. It would give us 2 additional drones, but you know, I think it's important that we need to get this up and running as soon as possible. So I'm going to not wait on that. The question is, in terms of expansion later on, which direction would we go? Hard to say yet. We need to scan a few more of those areas, probably more in this western direction. So let's go and put the drone hub maybe also together with the rest of our stuff here. I think this is a good spot. We need to cable it up. Also, it needs power, so let's connect it from here to there. All right, let's get going, and we are starting and building our first dome. It's gonna take a while, and I've mentioned the polymer situation. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to bring in a supply pod with polymers, because these are going to be critical also for the maintenance of the dome and also for the maintenance of our power accumulators. So we're gonna need a few more of those. Again, you can find them lying around on the planet's surface, and we will, but it's usually only a few parts, so it will not really save us. In terms of the others, we actually still good because of this little supply pod that we had coming in, so no need for that. How many can we bring? We can bring in a total 25. This is what we're going to do, and it's going to cost us a little bit, but it's definitely absolutely crucial for our survival up here. So now the dome obviously cannot function without water and without oxygen. I mean, the dome can function, but people within it cannot. So we will need both of those things. Thankfully, we do have water around. This one is low, this one is average, but it's a little bit less. However, it's farther away, it's outside of our drone range, so we're going to tap into this water source here very easily by pulling out a water extractor. We're probably going to need more than one later on, especially if we build a farm, etc. So let's start on this position here. It is inside our drone hub range. No, it is not. Okay, that is a problem. Okay, never mind. So, oh, that is actually indeed a problem. I didn't consider this, because right now it's okay because the rocket is here, so this is within our working range. However, once the rocket leaves, the drone hub is the central place for our little drones, and it will not reach this water source. I think so, at least. Let's try it with if we put in no, it will not work. Okay, that is a little bit of an issue. However, right now I don't really have a choice, so I'm going to put it here anyway, and hope maybe later we will get an RC commander which has, you know, drones mobile, and we're gonna position it somewhere here in this area, so it can maintain the water extractor when it needs maintenance. Okay, for now we're going to build it here. Again, Power is an issue. I think at the moment we have a little bit of a surplus, which is great. However, this will pretty quickly change. I'm going to build another little row of power solar panels
Sector scan.
like right here, here, and here. And then I'm going to pull the cable from, let's take it from here all the way over here. Okay, so and of course also the water extractor, once it's built, we need to pipe it up and then also build a pipe. We could actually also pipe it to the fuel refinery, but I think the fuel refinery is doing well with the moisture evaporator, so we're gonna leave that for now. Alright guys, what's going on? What are we waiting for? We're waiting for concrete. Where's all our concrete? I mean, this guy is producing concrete. It went all into the dome. Alright, so that's a bit of an issue. We will have to wait for daytime in order to mine more concrete, so we can get this water extractor up. However, we're running out of time. We ran out of time. As you can see, also we are lacking on power. We are lacking on a few things, but we got a little bit something going. Okay, we came down, we built our fuel regeneration, we built our concrete, we are building our water and our first dome. And next time we are going to finish our dome and also fill it with buildings that are necessary for our first humans to arrive. Thank you so much guys for your attention. I hope you had a little bit of fun. Maybe you even learned something in terms of tips and tricks for this game. I know it was fun for me, and I hope you check out episode 2 when we're going to continue this. So far, thank you and bye bye.